There are moments in time when the earth stands still, when history pauses and heaven speaks. July 18, 2025, this is not just a date, it is a divine marker, a prophetic appointment, a crossing point between what was and what must be. And God is saying, everything changes. You may not see it in the headlines, you may not hear it in the voices around you, but if you listen closely in your spirit, you will sense the shift. This is not about fear. It's not about panic, it's about alignment. God does not move randomly. He moves with precision, with power, and with purpose. In the scriptures, God gave dates, He marked time. From the flood in Noah's day to the exodus from Egypt, to the birth of the Messiah, everything happened on time. And now He is saying again, watch the time. For many, this will be just another day. For others, it will be the day their eyes are opened, their hearts are shaken, their purpose is reborn. Everything that can be shaken will be shaken not to destroy, but to expose, to reveal what is built on sand and what is founded on the rock. Some systems will collapse, some idols will fall, but those who trust in the Lord will not be moved. This is the day of awakening, a line drawn in the spiritual sand. What must change in you before this day comes? What have you delayed that heaven has already commanded? God is calling His people to repent, to return, to rebuild. This is not about July 18 being a magic date. This is about a prophetic window, a final moment to get in position for what's coming next. In your personal life, you may have been living in cycles of defeat, disappointment, or delay, but that changes when you surrender everything to the one who holds everything. There's a reset coming, a spiritual turning, and it begins when you say, "Yes, Lord, whatever it takes." The world is loud, the enemy is active, but God is sovereign. The winds are changing, the atmosphere is shifting. And the Lord is whispering to those who will listen, prepare the way, come out of compromise, come into the secret place, stand in the gap, and be ready, because when that day comes, it will not come quietly. It will come like a trumpet in the Spirit, and those who are awake will not fear it, they will rise in it. God has spoken, not to frighten, but to warn, not to destroy, but to redeem. The question is not what will happen on July 18, the question is, will you be ready when it does? Now is the time. Today is the day. Don't wait for the world to tell you what it means. Seek the voice that transcends the world, because when God speaks, everything changes. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail caption, video description, or Urdu translation for this powerful message. There are moments in time that feel ordinary to the world, but are appointed by a higher hand as thresholds between what was and what is to come. July 18, 2025 is not merely a date on a calendar. It is marked as a divine intersection, a moment when the invisible becomes visible, and the spiritual begins to impact the natural in ways that are undeniable. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear will recognize that the timing is not a coincidence. It is not human design or the result of chance. It is a specific placement in time where a shift will begin, where the world begins to feel the tremble of something deeper than politics, economics, or social change. The change is spiritual first. This is how God has always worked. He announces before He moves. He whispers before He thunders. History is filled with examples where dates we now study as historic were once just normal days to those living in them, until they weren't. From ancient times to modern, certain days became the pivot point for nations, individuals, and civilizations. What made those days different was not the events themselves, but the spiritual weight they carried. In the same way, July 18, 2025 is a time not to ignore. It is a signal, a warning, a preparation point. Those who are in tune with the deeper truths of life will not sleep through it. They will not treat it as just another sunrise or another news cycle. They will recognize that the winds of change are not coming. They are already here. This appointed time is a reminder that life is not random. There is design, there is intention. The heavens declare the glory, but they also declare the warnings. The soul that is attentive knows when something is about to break, when a new season is dawning. This kind of change doesn't always come with fanfare or visible explosions. It comes with a whisper that shakes foundations. And for those who are aware, it is not a cause for fear but for readiness. A divine turning point is never about destruction alone. It's also about opportunity, opportunity to return, to realign, to awaken. There are two kinds of people in every moment of history: those who sleep through the shifts and those who wake up and become part of the change. The difference is not their ability, their education, or even their belief system. The difference is their spiritual awareness. The ones who are watching and listening will understand what to do. They will not be caught off guard. July 18, 2025 is not just a date. It is a trumpet sound. It invites preparation. It demands attention. It offers a window for transformation. Those who recognize this will not only survive what comes next, they will be positioned to lead, to help, to shine light in the darkness. Because the timing of God is never random, it is always right. Change never arrives without first confronting resistance. That resistance, however, is not always external. Often, the greatest challenge lies within us: our habits, our thinking, our comfort zone. When a divine shift is declared, like the one approaching on July 18, 2025, it is not just an invitation to watch the world change. It is a call to prepare ourselves internally. We must ask, are we ready to be different? Are we prepared to shed what no longer serves our purpose? Transformation begins in the heart and mind long before it is seen in our circumstances. This is the preparation season, a time to examine our alignment, our devotion, and our readiness to move when the call comes. Many miss their moment not because they lacked opportunity, but because they were not ready when it came. Preparation isn't glamorous. It doesn't attract applause. It's built in quiet moments, early mornings and late night surrender. The heart must be softened. The spirit must be humbled. These inner renovations are what allow us to receive the weight of what's ahead. When a moment of divine change comes, it requires vessels that are prepared to carry it. Not everyone will recognize the call. Some will scoff, some will doubt, others will sleep. But the ones who have been preparing in silence will rise in clarity. Preparation is not passive. It is not sitting back and hoping for the best. It's intentional. It involves aligning daily choices with deeper purpose. It means removing distractions, confronting hidden fears, and embracing truth even when it's uncomfortable. When the world shifts, those who are already rooted won't be shaken. They will stand. That kind of steadiness isn't found in reaction. It's forged in preparation. This moment leading up to the divine turning point is not just time to observe signs. It's time to act on them. Real preparation changes our posture. It transforms how we pray, how we work, how we relate to others. It awakens a sense of urgency, not driven by panic, but by purpose. There's a quiet knowing that something is coming, and when it does, you won't need to scramble. You'll already be positioned. The foundation will be in place. Preparation isn't about knowing every detail. It's about trusting that when the appointed time comes, you will be in sync with it because you've been listening, obeying, adjusting. You've tuned your life to the frequency of what's ahead. This is the season to prepare, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not because we want to survive, but because we're called to lead, to speak, to carry truth in a world that's about to be shaken. The shift is near. The preparation is now. Those who understand this don't wait for confirmation. They begin to move because the voice of purpose always calls before the door opens, and only the prepared can walk through it. When a divine shift is approaching, it is essential to sharpen your spiritual discernment. In times of transition, not everything that appears good is aligned with the truth, and not everything that looks like loss is actually a setback. There are seasons when deception runs deep, where distractions are dressed as blessings and truth is buried under noise. It takes a refined, tuned spirit to see clearly through the fog of confusion. Discernment is the ability to detect not only right from wrong, but right from almost right. This sensitivity does not come overnight. It is developed through time spent in prayer, reflection, silence, and connection with the voice of truth. The world will always offer an abundance of opinions, narratives, and explanations. As this pivotal date approaches, the voices will only grow louder. Some will cry out in fear, others will mock, and many will mislead without even knowing it. You must not follow volume, you must follow clarity. The wisdom that guides you will not always shout. It often whispers. It will confirm peace in your spirit even when chaos surrounds you. That kind of discernment acts as a compass, pointing you toward truth even when the signs are unclear to others. This is a time to be highly selective about what you consume and who you allow to influence your mind. Every input becomes part of your thinking. If you are surrounded by noise, confusion will follow. But if you are filled with quiet wisdom, clarity will rise. Begin to test every thought, every message, and every influence. Ask whether it leads to freedom or fear, whether it builds strength or drains your soul. Discernment sharpens not only your decisions but your direction. It helps you move forward with confidence, not based on what you see, but what you know deep within. You will notice that certain people, places, and opportunities begin to fall away. That is not loss, that is alignment. Discernment helps you bless the exit of what no longer serves your future. It helps you recognize the difference between distractions and assignments. You may find yourself saying no more often, pulling back, choosing solitude over attention, and stillness over speed. That is not retreat. It is preparation for elevation. It is the quiet rearrangement that positions you for the next chapter. In the days ahead, deception may try to disguise itself as light. False promises may come wrapped in urgency or fear. Discernment will keep you grounded. It will remind you that truth is never rushed, that real guidance never manipulates, that genuine purpose will always resonate in your spirit long before it appears in your circumstances. Discernment is the weapon of the wise. It is the light in the tunnel. It is the strength to pause when others panic, to wait when others chase, and to rise when others fall. Those who walk in discernment will not only survive the shift, they will lead through it. As the world moves closer to a divinely appointed turning point, there is an unmistakable urgency to align fully with the purpose for which you were created. Many drift through life waiting for external events to change before they act, but true transformation begins with a conscious decision to surrender to the path designed specifically for you. This is not a call to passive waiting. It is a call to active readiness. It means setting aside personal agendas, ambitions built on comparison, and distractions that drain your strength. To align with divine purpose, you must become willing to let go of comfort zones and embrace the unfamiliar road where real destiny unfolds. This alignment requires courage. It means stepping into assignments that stretch your character and obedience. You may be called into areas that make no sense to those around you. It might look like leaving behind relationships that no longer support your growth or walking away from opportunities that conflict with your values. The path of purpose is rarely paved with applause. It is marked by conviction. There is a deep inner pull that refuses to let you settle. You sense that your life was never meant to be ordinary. You were born with an assignment that echoes in your spirit, and in moments of silence it calls you forward. You must begin to view every delay, every closed door, and every disappointment through the lens of preparation. Nothing is wasted when you are aligned with purpose. Each hardship molds your character. Each test sharpens your focus. The storms do not come to destroy you. They come to refine you, and when you walk in alignment, the resistance becomes confirmation. The journey gets clearer even when the path seems narrow. You begin to trust that you are being guided not by what feels good, but by what grows you. This season of transformation is not about chasing status or recognition. It is about building a legacy of impact. Alignment with purpose means being willing to walk in integrity when no one is watching. It means prioritizing truth over popularity and impact over image. When your life is fully surrendered to a higher mission, you stop living for temporary wins. You begin to live for eternal significance. You rise every day not just to survive, but to contribute, to uplift, and to stand firm in your assignment regardless of the cost. As the moment of divine change approaches, those who are aligned will not be shaken. They will be positioned, prepared, and ready, not because they were the strongest or the most qualified, but because they chose to obey the call. They didn't wait for signs in the sky. They listened to the voice within. They built when others doubted, prayed when others mocked, and stayed the course when others turned away. And when the shift comes, they will rise, not in fear, but in purpose, fulfilling exactly what they were created for, at the exact time they were called to do it. The conclusion of this speech is a powerful reminder that true transformation begins not with external events, but with internal alignment to a divine purpose. As the world anticipates significant change, the message calls each listener to prepare their heart, focus their mind, and walk in obedience, even when the path is unclear. It emphasizes that destiny is not about being the most gifted or the most visible, but about being faithful, surrendered, and courageous enough to act when others hesitate. In a time when everything may seem uncertain, those who align themselves with their God-given calling will stand firm, not because they avoided difficulty, but because they allowed the fire to forge their strength. When everything changes, it's those who are grounded in purpose who will rise with clarity, boldness, and unshakable faith.